Ink Masters, it's one of the greatest advertisements a tattoo artist could ever ask for. But is it worth it? What is it like behind the scenes? Today, we talked to Roly T-Rex and Mark Longenecker, two veterans from the Ink Masters TV show. Join us on today's episode of the Ink Different Tattoos podcast.
Welcome to Ink Different Tattoo Podcast. I'm Gabe Jaksich with my co-host.
I'm Chico Cortez, and today we have Mark Longenecker and Roly T-Rex.
Hell yeah! Two great tattooers, great tattoo artists.
Appreciate it.
And we're going to talk a lot of shit, but just I have this thing with Ink Masters.
We go right out the
There you
gate.
go.
Yeah, for real.
Straight up into some Ink Master
Oh,
questions.
hell, it's going to break loose
Yeah.
now.
Well, I always say it was the most stressful thing I ever did in my life.
Okay.
So when you think about it that way, was that a positive experience? Yes, but it was like there's nothing that could prepare me for it. And there's so many head games, that they're doing to you, manipulation and a lot of things happening in that secret room where I always thought that there was like a psychiatrist in there that was like trying to figure out how
Really?
to break me,
100%.
Really?
100%, yeah.
That fucking bad because
Like they have a control room with screens on everything. I've walked into it once when I wasn't supposed to, and I was like trying to find a room, and I was like, "Ooh, here's like the Wizard
and
of
you
Oz."
see in one of the screens your heartbeat going like that. They measuring everything that is happening with you and shit. But because the idea is like you say fuck it, I'm going to this show because it's a tattoo competition, and I'm gonna give my best and see if I win. I just make a buck, whatever.
I don't know if that's like the initial thought, right? Like I think the initial thought is like, all right, I'm gonna go on here because the exposure, right? First off, right? Like, right,
Yeah,
because
it's the
you're
best
like
commercial you could ever have.
like, yeah, you can't pay for that promotion. You're on an
Especially on
episode
TV.
every week. You're on a commercial every single day, and I mean to pay for that promotion, you just won't, especially as a tattoo artist. Right?
Yeah, true.
So I think that's what you want. Then when you're there, you're like, once you realize like, you get to the middle and you're like, man, I might have a chance to get to the end. Then is when you're like, I might try to make this work, right?
Fuck yeah.
But in the beginning, it's willy-nilly. It's all over the place. And you don't know who this guy is. You don't know who this guy is.
Well, there's
And
so
then-
many people. It's like a shouting match to be
Yeah.
heard, and
Yeah.
everyone's just like screaming for TV time, and it's crazy in the beginning with all those people.
Yeah.
Now, but you mentioned something about head games. Head games coming from the production of the show
Oh yeah,
to create a fucking conflict, because I guess the conflict is what it sells on the show.
100%.
yeah, you gotta have it.
I mean, sometimes, like I was real closed off to the production team, right? In terms of like emotionally or like letting them know so much about my inner self or my life so much because, they could be like, how much you miss your daughter, man? And you're gonna be like, man, I miss my daughter. It's been 2 months, and I'm da-da-da. Then you go into a scene,
And that was
the
used
guy
on the-
and
It gets
the guy
brought up.
and the guy would be like, oh, bro, I bet you miss your daughter, bro. Better do good, da-da-da. She's watching right now.
What fuckery? That's fuckery.
Yeah, so they're
They're
I
listening
mean,
to
it's
your
their
phone
job.
calls too, so you call your wife. Oh, my kid's in the
What?
hospital right now, and then the same thing. Oh, wait, this kid's in the hospital. Next scene, how's your kid doing?
Fuckery.
Yeah, it's
What
TV.
the
It's
fuck?
TV though, man.
Every scene where you see us like sitting on couches in the living rooms and all that, or the bedroom, for that kind of drama. So the biggest question, is it scripted? No, it's not scripted. We're not handed scripts, but there is prep work. There is a theme for each little scene, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to grab a bunch of people and be like, all right, this is what we're talking about. Mark's tattoo sucked today. He's self-conscious about this. Go. So it's like, if you're not prepped and you're walking into a
You
scene,
look like
then it's about you, right?
it's like a what the fuck moment,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Like
Like,
if they didn't come up to you and talk to you before the scene, then you're like,
Then you're they're all coming after you.
And that's the thing. I mean, it's more there's more encouragement than actual script, right? They're encouraging you to create the drama, and I mean that's their job, right? I mean you're going on TV knowing
That's
that
what
they
it
got to
sells on
create
the show.
TV.
Yeah, of
Because if
course.
we're all just, hey man, your tattoo was cool, man, and this, and we're all like it's just not fun TV, And as for people, them getting messed up after the show, it's what you make of it, right? So like when you're there, it's tough, right? I mean, you go there. I'm used to being at home with my kids and my wife. Like that's what I do. I fish every day. I go tattoo in my little corner, and then I go home. So when you get there, there's 30 something people there, and they're like, all right, this is where you're gonna live. You live in this room. Your beds are 2
For
feet
how
apart.
long you guys, for example,
Depends
because
on how long you're there for.
normally
We
like a month,
we
month and a
both made
half.
it all the
I
way
was
to the
there
end,
for
right?
3 months, pretty much.
3 months.
Yeah, 3 months.
Away
Yeah.
from your family.
Yeah.
You were in
living with
you were in every
strangers.
episode, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
me
you
too.
man. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
3 months.
3
Yeah.
months. Yeah. So, people go home and it's crazy because you get almost like institutionalized, because anything over 30 days
And you can't leave.
becomes your new norm,
Your mind
so,
start
So,
working.
Chico gets voted off, right? And
Why did I
everyone
have
starts
to get voted off?
yeah. So
Oh,
Chico,
was the short guy it is.
Chico gets voted off, and now you got the 10 dudes. We're fighting over who's gonna get his mattress because it's like this thin. You're sleeping on a mattress this thin. So now, like by the end of the season, you got 7 mattresses that you're sleeping on because
It's like being
You know,
a
like-
DJ
What he
in
doesn't tell
Miami.
you
It's
is
like
that's the
being in jail.
prize. You get to take home the
little
mattresses.
baby IKEA bed. is
yeah,
what we
bro.
get.
I'm not even that tall. You know what I mean? I'm 5'11", or and my feet were hanging off the end of the bed. I mean, it's
like being in
small,
jail.
bro. But everything
way.
is a mental.
Everything's being messed
mental.
with. They're messing
Yeah.
with the heat and the air. It's either cold or you're hot. They're messing with your sleep. They're setting off sirens. The first siren I heard, I was like, "There's no smoke. There's no fire." They're like, "No, it's a gas alarm." I was like, "I don't smell gas." And they're like, "No, the alarm can sense the gas, and we have to go outside." I was like, "I just fell asleep. I'm feeling a little iffy about this, and it was like cold that night."
They would tell you how to dress and shit too, right?
Yeah, they dress
Really?
they mess with your clothes, your dress, what you eat. They're really messing with like I told them I had dietary restrictions, which was like a setup, and then they really messed with that. Like they're giving you the food that you don't want to keep you cranky.
I forgot
They're making
about
you
that,
not
yeah.
sleep to keep you cranky. They're doing all these head games, yeah.
So,
But going back to your original question,
Yeah.
was it a positive experience? Was it good? Yes. This is all what you got to go through to get to this great thing. It really helped. Like, it's the evolution of tattooing. You see it evolving. I saw TV coming in, and of course, old school mentality. I didn't like it at first. I was like, especially at the tattoo conventions, right? There's Ink Master Row. Remember originally there would be one row of all the TV people. It wasn't just Ink Master.
Yeah, we hated you guys.
It had me too. It had like Best Ink, and it had all the TV shows together. And man, that show was popping. That was like the bar that you couldn't get into. That was like people's booths were like, it was like 3 deep, and everyone's buying their merch.
Yeah.
And I'm over here and I'm like, I've been tattooing twice as long as all these people,
Yeah.
doing all these conventions, putting in so much work, and nobody's coming to my booth. And I'm starting to get that old school mentality that a lot of old school tattoo artists have that don't evolve, right? And you start hating. And then if you can't beat them, join them, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, the next thing I need to do is be part of this. This is where it's going. Like, it doesn't matter if I submit to a magazine anymore. It's not taking my career any further. Like, obviously, I need to get on TV.
And
So-
Mark's booth was always one of the best booths.
Thank you.
Always, because I had one of the best booths, and Mark embarrassed me. So it's just like
Yeah, I put a
for
lot,
Mark to
lot
say,
of effort into my booths.
for Mark to say, why isn't anyone coming here? Imagine how I felt.
Right?
I think I'm sorry to cut you off.
No,
But
go ahead.
I think what the best thing about Ink Master is that it takes you out of your comfort zone. Because as a tattoo artist, you can literally tailor everything to how you want it. You go to work when you want. You deal with the clients you want. You do the tattoos you want. Like, it's so much tailored to the way you want to do things most of the time, right?
Yeah, and this
especially
is pure
when
fucker.
you get
This is like a Squid Game.
Yeah, so you learn a lot about yourself. I
Yeah.
feel like for me, I always had like anxiety getting on a flight, going here, being in line, and that's what you're doing every day there. You're in line. You never know what you're gonna do. You're not in control at all. So finding that about yourself and being like, yeah, I can go through a lot and still perform, like is awesome.
So
you know?
that we can call like probably that's the before. What's up with the after? How is coming the after? Okay, the show is long gone. You been on TV already. What's happening at the show? People come and say like
it
apart
depends.
of the people that knew that you were on the show, but just people that they didn't know you, new customers say like
Well, tattoo convention promoters are reaching out for you. I got an agent. Her name was Jen Lee, and she was like booking me out of the country, and I was getting to fly out with James Vaughn to like Switzerland and London, and Picasso was joining, and we were like,
there you go.
we were like really living it up, all because like you get to ride that Ink Master thing for, it's because then the next season comes, and then you're not as important, and then the next season comes,
Yeah.
and you're less important, but that first year afterwards is great. So it's worth any stress you put yourself through, even the person that gets
paid off.
Yeah,
in
it's
a
like,
way.
You say, it's career suicide if you go on there and get kicked off first. It would be embarrassing, right? But those people, they all do good too. They all put Ink Master all over their booths, and people come see them. And
I think it depends on how you were on the show too, because there's dudes that have made it to the end, but they, their
very
personality, yeah, their personality was crap, and they didn't get received as well as others.
Would you guys go again if the show comes back and you're invited?
I've been asked.
It's changed so much.
I haven't. I've been asked. I haven't gone back.
I think I would go for other things. I think there's a great ways to bring back
To
other
punch
artists.
somebody on the throat this time. No, fuck it. You don't give a shit about the money, the
Well,
tattoo,
one
or
thing
anything.
I keep
you will
thinking
fuck
about-
somebody up over there.
Like back in the Best Ink days when they would have their like challenges, they would bring in artists that were good at that challenge to kind of introduce, this is the next challenge you're going to do. So say there was a surfboard painting challenge, right? Then they could bring me in and I could talk about
You're the man
it.
for that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So I think that there's ways to introduce the old ink masters and bring them back in. And I think it would be very exciting. But for me to go compete against this new crew of ink masters with these new judges, it just feels like beating a dead horse at this point. It's like that was 10 years ago when I was on Ink Master,
Wow.
Yeah.
10 years already ago.
Just for the record, I met both these gentlemen before they were on Ink Masters. And I got to tell you, I walked into Bruce Bart's studio in Fort Lauderdale. And I got to meet Mark in 2001. And Mark was already a fucking badass.
Yeah.
Appreciate
You know what I'm
it.
saying? Already. He was one of the guys that I looked up to coming into this industry. And I begged Roly to work for me.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, and again, like, just to catch you at that point, I met him at one of my first conventions ever. I was probably tattooing for like a year or something.
You were badass.
And literally he was like, bro, you got to come work with me. If not, like he just accepted me and like took me in and like just showed me so much love at such an early time. And he just like knew. He was like, bro, you're going to make it far. And I was like, damn, I appreciate it. And at the time I was struggling to just be in the industry,
And it was
And
absolutely right.
Well, I killed the chicken before the show to show me who was coming up. And, this guy
Absolutely
shined.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I was too embarrassed to ask Mark to ever fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? Mark was too up on high on the totem pole already. I'm asking him if I can work for him now. But it's like both these guys, if anybody deserved to represent Florida, if anybody deserved to be on TV, if anybody deserved the title Ink Master, it's these two guys on the
I
side.
appreciate that.
That was the
appreciate
here.
it too, man.
That's the reason why they're here.
Yeah.
Since you guys been on the industry for decades already, and you see the changes, whether that include TV shows, trends in social media, things that before back in the day we didn't know it just existed. Where are we going? And
I
what's
don't
gonna
think
happen?
Ink Master is really that influential on the industry right now.
Uh-huh.
I think like the things that are pushing the industry, like I feel like TikTok is the new, because like my agent that was like handling all the Ink Master people, when she moved to handling like the TikTok people. So there's always going to be a new trend and evolving, and
you guys
you're
feel
doing good.
compelled also to jump into everything that is going to be new as a way to promote what you guys are doing. I guess like that's a specific idea.
I think you should jump on it in some way. You should, even if you're not dancing and doing stupid stuff. I mean, it's there, it's free, right? So it's free promotion. So I mean, to not take advantage of it is it's kind of detrimental to you, because that's where it's going, right? And everything evolves. And I think there's two sides of the coin, right? There's a lot of people that are like, oh, this is stupid. It's not the traditional way. Like, F all these TikTok tattooers. But it's like, bro, like everything moves. And those dudes were the same dudes that were complaining that they couldn't go into a store without getting looked at twice, or they couldn't be at a water park because the families were afraid. And it's like now tattoos, no one's afraid of tattoos anymore. You can go anywhere now. It's mainstream, which is what they wanted, right? But with mainstream comes industrialization, right? It's like, now look, I mean, there's tattoo companies, supply companies, machine companies that are owned by companies that have no idea what tattooing is about, right?
All related to the industry, yeah. But I guess like you guys also have it, and I do, the old hustling, that just going out and talk to the people. I always say like we tattoo to connect. We don't tattoo we're not like fucking athletes that we're going to be competing and winning awards.
But that goes further. I feel like when you go out and speak to someone, that goes, because the people that I've actually gone out to and spoke to, like they become lifetime clients.
There you
Rather
go.
than people didn't see me like on a video or whatever.
There you go.
They're like, oh, I
the
got
connection.
you
make the connection.
Yeah, you make that connection. It's
You
way bigger for sure.
You
that's
see,
the way you used to have to do it.
Yeah.
Before social media.
remember how it was
Yeah.
going out with your business card.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Where did you get that? Hey, look, I got a shop around the corner. Come to see me.
Yeah, I'd be at Home Depot doing that.
There you go.
Like, like
that was
I'd
my
walk up
excuse.
everywhere.
I made quite the reputation as like a party guy in the tattoo industry, and I look back and think of what I would change. If I could tell my younger version of myself, like, maybe the partying and the drinking thing wasn't as important, but it seemed so important to me then because that's how you connected.
Of course.
You rub
Fuck
elbows
yeah.
at the bar, and that's how you met people, and that's how you met the people that you want to work with and look up to. Like, especially back in the old days when the convention was in the hotel and it was all to get together, and then everyone went to the bar after the convention. Yeah, the bar was right
best
there.
Fucking part of the convention.
Yeah, so there's your chance. You're like, there's so and so, and I want a tattoo like him. So the best way for me to meet him is to go buy him a shot and bro down with him and stay up all night with him. Yeah, and it's like, embrace that party lifestyle, and I was doing like bar tricks all the time and really entertaining people.
Nice.
And like you were saying, my booth was a bar. My booth was a tiki bar.
I didn't even drink, and I used to go get a drink with him
Hell
just to hang out with Mark.
I would make
Yo, his booth
Longnecker
always been
Ritas,
cool.
and I would turn on the blender, and I had usually a DJ system too, and I'd put the microphone to the blender. People would hear the blender going off, and I would like attract people to the booth. And
Bring the tiki back to the fucking conventions. Come on.
Mark is who made South Florida Convention live.
yeah,
Yo, for
Fuck,
real.
Coral
That's the truth.
Springs. South Florida.
Yes.
Shit. Come on. Bring
Well,
the tiki.
I've lost-
Mark, bring the tiki back.
I've lost interest in the tequila and all that, and I like definitely embrace a healthier lifestyle. And like
For us, I'm saying the tiki bar, not for you.
I could bring kombucha on tap.
You
There you go.
can do smoothies, bro.
That'll be
Yes.
popular. Kombucha would be popular
Wheatgrass
nowadays, bro.
shots.
But you see, you guys have the best of both worlds, like the hustle from back in the day, and now the electronic means. Okay, so you balance. Now, of course, when still you have the chance, you can go and just connect still with people. But I see, like for example, like this new tattoo artist, completely dependable on the
Social
iPad,
media, yeah.
the social media, sitting at the shop. And posting probably, since they're not tattooing so often, always the same picture of a tattoo that come out good, like probably 3 months ago. What is the advice for you guys to these guys sitting at the shop, waiting to what they can do different, how they can
This was
generate?
definitely like the slowest year in tattooing I've seen in a long time, right?
Is that so?
Yeah.
It
Yeah, for
really,
sure.
really feels like that way,
And
no?
I've been in this industry going on 30 years, and it took a dive, and you see tattoo artists, like well-known tattoo artists, like quitting tattooing. It got rough,
Yeah.
But like you said, like what about that hustle of going out and meeting people? So it's like I was thinking, like, well, it might be hard now, but I can still go out there and generate and meet new people and rub elbows if I have to.
There you go.
So it's a great quality to have, If you only know how to talk to people through instant messages, you're not making the connection, like you were saying. If you go out there and you look them in the eyes and you compliment their outfit and you tell them you'd be honored
There
to
you
give
go.
them a sleeve, then that's true. Then that becomes your client for life,
For sure. I think tattooing for a long time was like when you met a tattooer, especially back in the day, it was a genuine person.
Yeah.
Whether he was a genuine asshole or a genuine
Or a
great
great guy,
person, whatever. It was
Yeah.
you were getting genuine. Like that's who that person was. And I feel like that's maybe what you miss with the new wave of like technology, right? Is where you see these videos of people or the younger generation, like they say, and then you see them in the shop and it's not what you saw in the video, right?
Exactly.
And that takes the genuine away, right?
That's
You
a
know?
great
You know, yeah,
point,
like-
because it happened often.
It happens often, yeah.
Yeah.
And I hear that a lot, where, these dudes are doing these videos and they seem so cool and they're crazy, but it's like, it's only for the camera.
Yeah.
And it's like, that sucks because you don't really know what you're getting. And then you get to the tattoo shop, you're getting tattooed by a buddy and he's putting headphones on and he didn't talk to you the whole time.
Right.
And it's like, bro, that's taken away from the
You seem so
aesthetic.
live on your TikTok.
Yeah,
What are you doing?
it's taken away from the
I
aesthetic.
thought we're supposed
And-
to do all this crazy stuff.
Yeah. And I feel like when you go get a tattoo from this guy, like you're getting him 100%.
Exactly,
You're getting
yeah,
long necker.
there is no-
like, the whole, you're
No
getting that whole
difference.
thing.
You don't get no short necker. You get the whole.
Yeah, you get the whole neck. You're getting the whole neck.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So like, I think that's really, and when he goes to conventions, he takes it with him. Like that's him. You're getting that aesthetic.
Authentic.
Yeah,
all the
no-
time. Yeah, exactly.
Authentic, yeah. No
Yeah.
difference between real life, your work ethics, or the way you work, or the way you interact with the customer.
I'd still say 90% of my clientele comes from Instagram. So
Okay.
it is important. Like you can't take
There you
that
go.
away.
Of
You know,
course.
It's
Okay.
like, if you got a good hustle on Instagram, that's just the way the hustle is these days. You know, and you gotta be making those reels, and you gotta like talk and look in the camera. Like people want to see the person they're getting tattooed by. You can't just have a portfolio on your Instagram, right? So they want to relate. Like if I talk about surfing and my love for the ocean and all these things, and so that's gonna bring those kind of people to come get tattooed by me. Am I talking about health and wellness?
Your
and,
tribe.
and
You're
yoga?
gonna-
Then I get all the yoga people. But I'm not gonna fake it and be like, I'm the next badass anime artist. I watched every movie when I was a kid because I didn't watch any of that stuff, you know. So I don't need to like go down the path of this new trend. Like people, there's still plenty of people that like what my authenticity is, you know.
Yeah.
And I can attract that, you know. Your vibe attracts your tribe, and they'll see that in the videos, and like you got to look in the camera and talk. You can't be shy, you know. And that's the problem. I tell my apprentices, I was like, you have to be able to make a video and talk in the camera, and that's like the hardest part, you know.
Yeah.
Like public speaking is like one of the hardest things, like the biggest fear in the world, and that's what I think. Like people, once you have that under your belt, like you're gonna be so much better off.
Yeah, I think
Like
I
Frankie
think-
Scorpion, she's a great speaker, right? She's dropping all these $5 words. She's great. That's like cool that you guys have her aboard too.
Yeah, I think in most industries, like you mix in that old school, right? Like, and I feel like some people, they're just like stuck, like, nah, this is the way we do it now, right? And it's like you got to bring some of, you know, that personality into it from like back in the day. You got to bring, you know, you got to be personable. You got to talk to people, just like he's saying. Like, you got to have a little bit of everything now, right?
Okay.
Rather than, because if you just stick to just this is how we used to do it, then you're not evolving. You're not going to make it into this new era, right?
Yeah.
But then if you just do the new thing, then you're lacking that old stuff, right?
Do you know that a lot of people don't realize that these guys were good before Ink Master?
Oh
Good-
yeah. Oh,
good
fuck
after
yeah.
Ink Master, but they didn't exploit their popularity just for their popularity. They're doing things for kids and underprivileged people, and I'd like to hit on that. I know both you guys have charities you work with and do things. You want to explain a little bit about it? Anyone
Sure.
can go
We were
first?
talking earlier about how passionate I am for Surfers for Autism. This is a great charity where they take kids with autism out and
Nice.
teach them how to surf. And they have a formula to it. It's like if it's so easy, then why can't the parents just take the kids and rent a board? It's not that. Like you have to first remove them from the parents, and then they have a team of people. It's like usually 4 or 5 people. There's 2 in the water. They push them. There's 2 ready to catch, or 1 in the midway, keeping everyone safe. And you know, there's a whole team. Everyone's watching everything, making sure nobody gets lost. But yeah, the guy came into my shop and asked me about working with him, and he explained everything. He's very passionate about it, and I said, I'm on board. I was like,
Nice.
I'm going to draw your poster. I'm going to do your T-shirts. I'm going to come there. I'm going to paint a surfboard live on the beach. We're gonna raffle it off right there, and we're going to raise you some money. I've been doing it ever since. I just had another party called Dove Massive, all reggae DJs. So we do that kind of in the winter, where I have a big reggae DJ party, and I paint another board, raffle that off, and then in the summer, actually Surfers for Autism comes to Cocoa Beach. They come all up and down the coast, and they have a spot usually around June, and they come to Cocoa Beach. I'll go there. I'll paint a surfboard. I'll let kids come over and paint on it with me. I'll watch them, and what makes it so passionate for me is because I've seen it work. Like I know the ocean is a healing place, and
Nice.
it is for me for sure. That's why I choose to live in Florida. You're only 2 hours away from the ocean at all points when you're in Florida, and it's like I feel like if I'm away from it, I dry up. So I love being in the ocean. I love connecting to nature, and I know it can help them. And you know, they have a lot going on in their heads, but when they're in the ocean and you start trying to push them on the board and they want to learn how to surf, you know, they see their other friends like doing it, and I've seen them walk out on the beach, kind of like no eye contact, and then they come out of the water and they're different, big bright eyed, and giving
awesome.
people
Nice, very
hugs and
nice.
stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I know that their formula works. So I love Surfers for Autism. Shout out to them, and so that's who I picked to work with the most. And you work with a charity?
Yeah. So me and my wife own the shop that I work in, right? And we try
Name
to
of the
do,
shop?
The name of the shop is the Divine Canvas. And we try to do as much as we can. For years we've been doing it's like a Christmas party, but for tattooers. We bring like the local community together, right? And we invite pretty much all the shops in our area, right?
Nice.
You know, there's
No fights in the parking lot.
no, it's been it's been great. Honestly, it's been great. And you
No
know,
need for ambulances or anything. Huh?
well, yeah, and you know, you touching on that, for people that don't know, there's a lot of segregation in our industry, right? There's a lot of shops that don't talk to each other, or guys that don't, you know, so, you know, and there's not really a lot to bring that community together, right? Other than conventions, which there's still segregation at conventions. So, you know, we throw this party, we have everyone come, and to get in, you got to bring a toy, and we donate the toys, right, for Christmas.
Cool.
And we provide everything, you know, the shop pays for everything. We pay for the venue, we pay for the food, we do all that, you know? So, that's a big thing we do. Along with being you know, we try to donate to any charity we can. And those are big things. We always pick families to do gift cards for Thanksgiving or Christmas, stuff like that. We try to give back as much as we can.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
nice. Great,
also-
great tattoo artists and great human beings also too.
Appreciate it.
That's
Yeah.
fucking
I also forgot
nice.
to add, so after the Surfers for Autism Day, that we do everything with the kids on the beach, the next day we do Surfers for Autism Tattoo Day at my shop.
Nice.
And then
Oh,
we
that's
all
cool.
draw tattoos and keep them at a low price point, and then we give all that money to them too. So that's always a big hit. You know, all the parents want to go get tattooed, and we have like entertainment for the families. And there's a kombucha bar next door. We'll put them at, and yeah, that's right next to Endless Summer Tattoo. There's a kombucha bar.
There you go.
It's like a dream come true.
This is
That's awesome,
awesome and speak volumes also too of you guys. Apart of just, like I say, great tattoo artists, great people, great human beings.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice. You know, it's just it should be more down there on the craft and in the industry.
Yeah. I think being
You know,
there,
you
being
don't
there
see
for
that too
people.
often.
But Mark said it. Mark said that passion, the guy came in with passion, and right away he said, yeah, I want to work with you. Passion
Yeah.
is contagious.
100%.
So I hope that this passion that these guys show is contagious, and maybe it'll go throughout the
Yeah.
industry. I hate to fucking use the word industry. Throughout our
I
culture.
mean, it is.
We
though. It is.
You know what I'm
call it
saying?
what,
It's
craft,
just
we call
like-
it trade.
I want to call it a culture. Because you're not in here because you have to be.
It's a fucking lifestyle.
You know, it's
just-
we choose to be who we are. We choose to be colored by choice. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like it's like this when it used to be a very straight line that you had to follow.
You know who inspired me to work with charities is the artist Wyland. You've ever heard of him?
No, sir.
I'm sure you're familiar with Wyland at
I
all.
don't know why.
He's like Guy Harvey. You heard of Guy Harvey, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's up there with Guy Harvey. So Wyland paints all the whaling walls. He has walls everywhere. They're in the Orlando airport. So I actually got to meet him in Fort Lauderdale. He just finished a book of he was doing like Japanese paint stroke animals. Just one like stroke usually, and there'd be a whale. Or a couple strokes, and there's a shark, sea turtle, basically all the stuff that I tattoo all the time. And he just finished this book, and when I got there, he was like finishing up a painting, and he sold it right in front of us, and it was really good. And he was working the crowd, kissing babies. He's like very charismatic, and you know, he's like every guy's best friend, and you just feel like you're his best friend when you're hanging out with him. And he sold that painting in front of me for like 10 grand. And I was like, wow, I've never seen like someone sell a painting in front of me for 10 grand. I'm like, I'm probably standing in front of the most successful artist I've ever been around. And then he's like, all right, so who wants one of my Japanese paint stroke ones? And people are picking them out of the book. Oh, I like the sea turtle. Okay. Takes him 5 minutes. Boom. All right, 5 grand. Boom. Like, I'm like, whoa. And it's like, he's just making all this money. And
wow.
and then the people who work for him are, you know, in his gallery, they're on you, and they're like, so what do you want to get, you know? And I'm like, oh, you know, I don't have budget for any of this stuff. And so, and they're like, yeah, well, we got stuff for as low as a couple grand. And I was like, no. I was like, how much are those books? And I bought his books, and then I have like access to all his paintings. I can see everything. And then I read about him, and it all started with, he got famous because he painted his first whaling wall, and it was like to raise money for whales, and to not harpoon the whales, and not kill the whales. And he's always been doing this. And so all this money goes back, especially when he does the big whaling walls. Obviously he's keeping the money from his paintings he sells in his gallery. But when he goes, he'll get funding, and he'll go paint these huge. He did a tour where he did a Welling wall a day, and these things are huge. And then I realized, because I was kind of getting mad. I was like, what gives this guy? What makes him deserve to get this much money for his art more than me? You know, of course, you always get that little bit of ego. And then when I read that he's been doing it from the beginning for charity, I was like, okay, he deserves it. You know, everything he's done was raising awareness for these whales and sea life and keeping the ocean clean, and everything's had a good cause behind it, you know, and that really opened my eyes. It's like, if you're working for something that's helping something else, more people, the ocean, nature, autism, then you have a real purpose behind you, and, you know, people can feel that.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I think like
giving back and giving away also too. It just is great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think just being present and being able to like do those things is amazing. I think as an artist, right, it's easy to forget like how impactful you actually can be. And especially like as a tattooer, a lot of people, you know, follow you. A lot of people are like, dang, like you're cool, or, you know, like you do cool things, or you able to like, and you kind of forget that you're that person, you know, because
you have
a lot of times we're in that.
Use it,
yeah,
you know?
exactly. You know,
Send
like,
a good
but
message.
even sometimes just speaking to people is a big thing, you know, like, you know, during this last year, I don't know if you had, but I had a bunch of tattooers that hit me up, and, you know, they were slow, and they were, you know, they were going through things. And I think just being there for people when they just write you and having like words for them and letting them know that you're standing behind them, you know, and even if like, hey bro, like if you need me to get you a meal, you need me to get you groceries for the week, like I got you, bro. You know, like I was busy this last year personally, and I try to do that as much as possible too. And I think that's a big thing too, you know, just being present, you know, is a big thing.
Great human beings, great tattoo artists, a lot of experience sitting there in that couch. I don't know how the couch is holding so much experience together. Anything that you want to add?
Egos.
I think like just we did good. I'm very, very thankful, and I want to know what you do. If not me, but people in general, same with Mr. Longnecker, how people find you, where they look at what you do, Instagram, social media. Let's pass it along, because you guys have a lot to show. And even if people wants to collaborate for Christmas, or when you do your surfing party, people is able to collaborate also too if they want.
Oh yeah, of course.
So let's give away your information.
First off, thanks for having me. This has been
The pleasure is all ours, bro.
It's been a blessing to be here. I think the best way to reach out is through Instagram, Roly_tattoos. I have like an email link on there too. If any companies or anything want to collaborate on anything during the holidays to give back to the community, we're all about it. Me and my wife are always trying to do things for that.
Good.
Also, if I'm here, if anyone wants to reach out, just to talk, or if you need any type of advice or anything like that, or if you want to meet us up at our church, you know, you can come to church with us, and sometimes that helps. Like even if you're not religious or believe in God, like sometimes just being around good people, it goes a long way if you're going through a hard time. So that's it.
Very nice.
Yes, and I'd like to extend my gratitude to you guys as well.
Rivers, a pleasure, brother. A pleasure.
Rivers and rivers of flowing gratitude to be each of you. Ink different, all right? I ink different, son. I like that name. That's great. That's a good name. So thanks for having me. If you want to find me, my shop is Endless Summer Tattoo. That's named after the surf movie Endless Summer, where they're searching for the perfect wave. It was like one of the first big surf movies, and that's kind of like I want to live in an endless summer. It's not feeling like it today. I was freezing. You know, it's snowing in Florida. It's crazy right now. So. You know, the idea of endless summer is that the Earth's constantly rotating, right? So a surfer could literally like keep moving and stay in the summer season, and that's kind of what they show in the movie. And my shop is a very surf themed shop, has a very beach vibe to it, and you can follow Endless Summer Tattoos on Instagram if you want to see all the artists. You want to see my personal page, go to Mark Longenecker. Then I have a Mark Longenecker yoga page if you want to follow that journey, which is a whole nother journey that I'm on. And I also have Selector Longnecker, which is my DJ page. It's all reggae DJ stuff. It's a lot of fun. and Endless Summer Tattoos for the website. And yeah, thank you guys, man. I appreciate it. This has been great.
Pleasure having
an
you,
honor.
bro.
Yeah, and I'm gonna stand up and let's shake this game.
Let's do it.
Remember, if you like what we're doing, follow, share, and subscribe.
And if you really like what we're doing, please give us a 5-star review. It really helps.